This is good. I got a sweet cream cold brew. So before I film, gotta get my caffeine in. Alright, I'm all good to go. Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Nathan, this is Roadmasters. So, the Roomba S9 Plus, the Roomba i7 Plus, these are the king of the robot vacuum market with their self-emptying bins. New player in town. This is the Proscenic M7 Pro, and we'll see how it stacks up to the S9 Plus and the i7 Plus. So you can see that these are very unique designs. The Roombas have like this tower style, but this is more of a short, kind of like stubby trash can looking thing. So what's unique about these guys is all three of them use a bag system. So you just basically lift up the top here and pull out the bag. I'll do the same thing with the Roombas. See, the disposable bags. Give you guys a quick look here. So it looks like both the M7 and the Roombas have the same style bagless system, but one thing on the Roombas is it's a plastic holder versus more of a cardboard style. Unfortunately, you cannot interchange the two bags. What sets the Roombas apart is that dirt detection sensor. You may notice the Roomba i7 does a short back and forth clean pattern when it detects dirt. Same with the Roomba S9. And one thing to note is once the dirt bin's full, it actually goes back to your docking station. This is something that's omitted from both the Shark IQ and the Proscenic M7 Pro. On the Shark IQ, the self-emptying bin works on a timer-based system, so after 30 minutes of cleaning, it will go back regardless if the bin's full or not. On the M7 Pro, it just empties out after it's done with the cleaning job. On both the Shark IQ and M7, through the app, you can tell the robot to return back to the docking station and empty itself out. Okay, all you Roomba experts out there, can you let me know what type of dirt sensor they use? Is it like an acoustic sensor? Is it an infrared sensor? I believe it's probably an acoustic sensor because infrared sensors tend to get dirty and they won't work anymore. But let me know because I'm not 100% sure. Another thing that sets the iRobot self-emptying bin apart from the competition is the ability to detect pressure. So if there's an air leak, it will actually alert you from the app. Also, if there's dirt still left in the robot's dustbin, it will actually make a second attempt to empty out the dustbin. Also can make a third attempt, and sometimes if the robot detects if there's still dirt from not emptying itself properly, it will actually go back to the dock and try again. So that's actually a quite advanced feature that the robot does a really good job trying to empty out all the debris. I am going to show you how well the iRobot self-emptying bin works over the competition. So I got to play with the Proscenic M7 Pro for about 2 weeks now, and I tried with different types of debris, cereal, powder, dust bunnies, and I did notice that the self-emptying bin on the M7 doesn't do a very good job getting out all the debris. So you may notice that there's a lot of plastic beads still in the dustbin. So if we take a look up top at the i7's dustbin, you notice that there's not a whole lot of beads in there, so it looks like the self-emptying bin's working pretty well. I did try several attempts on the M7 Pro to see if it can clear out the plastic beads from the dustbin. It looks like it does little at a time, but it doesn't clear out the entire dustbin. So to give the Proscenic M7 credit, I do some extreme testing, so this probably doesn't represent the real world. And you notice that the M7 Pro's dustbin does work, did capture a lot of the plastic beads over time, and also some dust bunnies. So I did run this Proscenic M7 Pro for a couple weeks in my house, just doing full house cleanings, and this is how much it picked up. So let's see how much the iRobot picked up. Okay, so one more thing is on the Roombas, you can actually wrap up the power cable, whereas on the Proscenic M7 Pro, unfortunately you cannot wrap up the power cable and it is not detachable. But you can detach the power cable on these guys. Let's have a look at the three robot vacuums. The S9 Plus being the most expensive, but it has that new D-shaped design from iRobot. The Proscenic M7 Pro and the Roomba i7 Plus have a very similar design. It's a round-shaped robot. So the benefit of a round-shaped robot is it can maneuver around furniture a little bit easier than on a D-shape. But the nice thing about a D-shape is you got that really long extractor box, which I'll show you in a second. Now you notice the hump on the Proscenic M7 Pro. This is a Lidar-based navigation system, so it's very important because a lot of people have been asking, I want a self-emptying bin, also I want Lidar navigation. Well, the Proscenic M7 Pro offers both of those options. Now for the Roombas, you got the iAdopt 3.0. It's a camera-based system. Both the Roombas and the Proscenic do really well getting to a target point. So one thing that the Proscenic has over the Roombas is the ability to do an area select. So within the floor plan, you could do either rooms or area select. You can also drop a pin and tell the robot to go to a specific area. Now I put all my Lidar-based robot vacuums in the corner there, so I know that they do really well finding the charging base. Also, they have the ability to maneuver around obstacles that are in front of the charging base that allows them to be in very tight areas because they're excellent navigation. I did try this with the Roombas. Unfortunately, the base needs a little bit more feet, maybe 6 feet in front of it, whereas these Lidar-based robot vacuums only need like a couple feet. The M7 has excellent battery life up to 150 minutes on its low power setting. Also, you have 3 power modes, and one thing to note is the Roomba S9 also has 3 power modes, but unfortunately the Roomba i7 only has a single power mode. And just from different sources, they say that the Roomba has low CFM, but I try not to take those numbers to heart because it's also the extractor bar design and other factors that will affect how well the robot can clean. One test I do off camera is called repeatability. What this does is I repeat the same test over and over, and I test the memory management of these robot vacuums. This is something that the Roblox S5 had for a long time. So what happens is over time the map would become obscured just from due to poor management in the memory of the robot. So luckily these robots, the M7, the iRobots, do really well. Okay, let's just look at the design here. You may notice the button layout here. For the Proscenic M7 Pro, you got the power button and your home button, whereas on the Roombas you got a signature 3-button layout. You got the giant clean button, also you have the home button and spot clean. Now with the spot clean function, both robots will spin in a circle and clean a concentrated area. Now the Proscenic also has the option via the app, and it does the same thing where it spins in a circle. So the Roomba S9 did the best because the side brush doesn't scatter the debris around like on the i7 or M7. Okay, let's talk about the Dustbin on the Proscenic M7 Pro. It's the largest at 600 milliliters, and it's rear loading. So all you do is just pull on this tab here.
Dustbin is not installed.
So it's a fairly large dustbin. Alright, so let's compare this to the Roomba S9 Plus. You can see the differences in dustbins. And let's compare it to the i7 as well. For the i7, just press the button right here up to the bottom right corner here, and it swings open. All 3 dustbins. Can you tell which one's which? So the Proscenic M7 Pro takes the cake at 600 milliliters. Okay, so I like the top loading system on the S9 Plus. Makes it a little bit easier to remove the dustbin. Okay, so let's go ahead and look underneath the robot. One thing to note is the M7 Pro has a dedicated wall sensor. Makes it really nice to hug those walls and get all the dirt and debris from your baseboards. How well the robot does with the cable. Sometimes there's some stray cables along, so the robot needs to have the ability to untangle itself. So with that dedicated wall sensor, the M7 does really well hugging the right side of the wall and kicking the debris from the baseboards. Also, the M7 does well with cables. It's able to untangle itself, and it's not too aggressive, so it won't knock over your lamps if it does get caught up. Now, one thing to note is the i7 tend to be more aggressive, so if it does get hanged up, it will try to back itself out, and it does try to pull stuff down. Now, on the Roomba S9, it's also a little aggressive, but not as much as the i7, which is odd because when I first got the Roomba S9, it was actually the most aggressive robot I had, and then after several software updates, it became a gentle giant. So, there is a possibility to correct these robots' behaviors with software updates. Okay, so if you get a Lidar-based robot vacuum, you can see that there's a live map update, and also can create a map within one cleaning session, where the Roombas take 3 to 5 cleaning sessions to create a map. Let's go ahead and get these guys flipped over. All 3, you notice that the i7 has these dual extractor bars, very similar to the S9, but the S9's extractor bars are a lot larger. And for the Proscenic M7 Pro, you got this very specialized combo style, which is very similar to the Roblox S9 Plus versus the Proscenic M7 Pro. The Roombas is the hair is pretty easy to remove, just remove from the axles. One thing to know is on the M7 Pro, you do have to use the tool to kind of cut the hair that's wrapped in the middle. But I find that the Roombas do pretty well with pet hair, so does the M7 Pro. Just have to do more maintenance on the extractor bar. Alright, let's have a quick look at the design here. On the M7 you got that dual side brush, but you notice the placement of the wheel caster and the charging contacts, they're in about the same location. But one thing to know is both the side brushes on both units spin too fast, so they do scatter a lot of debris around. But if I had to choose, I do like the dual side brush system on the M7. They both have the front wheels. On the Roomba S9, you have that larger extractor bar. But one thing to know is that side brushing does get bunched up, so it doesn't do very well on carpet. It's only for hardwood floors. So notice the placement of the charging contacts. So this is a very unique design. It's a D-shaped robot. Okay, so all three robots have click sensors. This guy has 3 click sensors, where these guys have 6 click sensors. They also have their charging contacts. But one thing you may note is on the M7 you have charging contacts in the front and rear. So this robot actually empties out from the rear and charges from the front. Very unique design. All three have adjustable wheels, which do really well navigating over terrain. Now, last thing I want to talk about is both these guys have a higher ground clearance than the S9, so it tends to do better with the bathroom rugs and a little bit higher thresholds for these guys. In conclusion, if you're looking for a well-rounded robot vacuum and the best robot vacuum that money can buy, just do my own personal testings, I think the Roomba S9 is a great choice. It is very expensive, but it has all the top-end features you expect from a robot vacuum. That dirt detection sensor also has really strong suction and high airflow at 24 CFM. One downfall is the Roomba S9 is very loud. Also, the battery life is quite short on its high power mode, around 50 minutes or so. But that really long extractor bar and a D shape really makes it a really efficient cleaner around corners. Also, even though the side brush doesn't do well on carpet, it does do well not scattering the debris around and does get dirt and debris away from your baseboards. Now, in this sand challenge, most robot vacuums struggle, like the Roblox, the Proscenic M7, even like the Shark IQ didn't do so well. But for the Roomba S9, it did very well. Almost got close to a 65%, which is really good for these robot vacuums. Keep in mind that the power on these guys are a lot less than like a traditional upright vacuum. Okay, here's a quick look at the Roomba's dirt detection sensor in action. You notice how it does a short back and forth cleaning pattern. If you're looking for a really good self-emptying bin option, both the i7 and S9 do a really good job. I also like the Shark IQ's self-emptying bin. It does a good job as well, but one downside is it doesn't empty out twice if it doesn't detect if there's an air leak. That's something that the iRobot can do. The self-emptying bin on the M7 does work. Just keep in mind it can't handle large debris, but what the M7 has over the other robot vacuums is the handheld remote. This is a first for a smart robot vacuum with Lidar. So if you're looking for a smart robot vacuum that doesn't break the bank, also has the self-emptying bin feature, the Proscenic M7 Pro is a good option. It has a bunch of features like the area select, also has keep out zones, the dedicated handheld remote. You can also enable the wide mopping pattern. Also, the robot has the normal mopping pattern, which just does a normal cleaning pattern, which is unique to this guy. Also, this robot vacuum has really good navigation on par with the Roblox. Oh, did I mention that the Proscenic M7 Pro has a mopping attachment? Yes, this is a hybrid mopping system. So what you do is you fill up with warm or cold water and you let the gravity-fed system do its job. Make sure you wet the mopping pad or you won't get any water on there. I kind of wish that this was an electronically mopping controlled robot, but I guess gravity-fed system works just as well. So the mopping attachment on the M7 Pro is designed for smaller mopping jobs since it's only 110 milliliters, so the water runs out fairly quickly. Also, keep in mind that there's no plastic pad on the base, so it will seep water on your floor. Okay, lastly, if you're looking for a really well-priced robot vacuum, the Roomba i7 Plus is probably a really good deal. I believe I've seen this around $700 for both the self-emptying bin and the robot. And it's no slouch either. It can handle a large variety of debris from the plastic beads to the large Cheerios. Also can handle powder. Just keep in mind that the CFM is kind of low according to different sources, but I think the extractor bar does really well picking up those types of debris. But what really makes the Roomba i7 a good robot vacuum is the reliability. Both the S9 and i7 have been good reliable machines, but the i7's just been a good workhorse. I put it through a lot of different tests and it seems to outperform its bigger brother, the S9. So if you like this type of video, please smash the like button. It really does help out this channel. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Nathan. I cover a lot of tech products, especially vacuums. I do window cleaners. I also been doing some air purifiers. So if you're a company looking to have a product review, check out my email address, nate2003@comcast.net. Also, I have a website, www.robottechreviews.com. If you want to know more information about these vacuums, I have articles covering the Roombas, also the Roblox. I will be getting the Proscenic M7 Pro article up there as well. So have a great rest of your day and see you later.